What's up, airplane collectors? Welcome to a special model review. It's your host, Ray. Today I'll be reviewing the NG model United Airlines Boeing 757-200 in the Continental Globe livery, or the post-merger livery. This video is special because this is actually the first model review request I've received. A user by the name of YWG Jaden commented on one of my recent videos and requested that I review this model, so here it is. I'm glad to see that you guys are making use of the database that I have, as well as my videos showing off models that I haven't reviewed yet. Anyway, this video will consist of a short discussion of the box and then an in-depth discussion and analysis of the model's features. And at the end of the video, I will give a personal opinion about what I think of the model and whether or not I recommend it to other collectors. Before I begin, I should mention that this model was released in January of 2022. So starting the review with the box, here's the box. It's 15 centimeters lengthwise, 15 centimeters tall, and about 5.5 centimeters wide. So it's the average NG757 box. I'll show you around the box now. So here's the bottom, right side, top, left side, and the back side. This model does include a collector reward plan card, and it's one of the earlier white cards. And here's the model itself. I'll give you a quick 360 while listing off some specifications. The model is 11.8 centimeters long, the wingspan is 10.3 centimeters, and it's 3.4 centimeters tall from the ground to the top of the tail. So it's decently sized and it's accurate to 1:400 scale. We'll start the review up at the front of the aircraft. Here you can see the front section of the airplane. I have no complaints here, everything looks good. The printed details look really nice. No shape looks solid as per usual. And yeah, it's very highly detailed. I like it a lot. As we move down the fuselage, you can see more printed detail, doors, windows, you get the whole shebang. Looks pretty good so far. No complaints on the fuselage. As we move to the rear of the aircraft, we can start to see some of the tail. Here's the vertical stabilizer, and I have no complaints on anything about the vertical stabilizer. It looks really good, color looks nice, the Continental Globe looks really nice. I really like the way that NG did that. And you can see a little bit of molded detail on the vertical stabilizer, so very nicely done. I'll show you the right side of the aircraft. It's virtually identical to the left side, and I have no complaints. I can say the same thing as I did on the left side. Very nicely done on this side as well. Moving on to the wings don't have as much printed detail, but again, there isn't very much to print. They do have a decent amount of molded detail. Here you can see the flaps and the air brakes. All of these look very nicely done. The slats look really good, and the printed detail that is on the wings is accurate and it looks really solid. The underside of the wings, unfortunately, doesn't have as much detail. The molded detail remains the same, but there isn't any printed details. But again, there's not really that much to see down here. The winglets on this model are actually pretty solid. However, this left winglet, you can kind of see the scimitar part of it is a little bit longer than usual than I'm used to seeing. It's not by very much, but it's noticeable enough when you look up close to it. But the shape looks fine, and it just looks like it was extended a little, so I won't complain about that too much. The right side one looks just fine. Here, let me try and show you the right side one. This is what the right side one looks like. Very nicely done, no complaints on either one. Moving to the rear of the aircraft, here we can see the horizontal stabilizers and the APU section. I do notice some issues here with the horizontal stabilizers. There is a bit of, I think I see paint chips here. That's something I never noticed. It's very peculiar. So 2 paint chips here. I don't see any printed details, so I didn't expect printed details, so just noticing that. The APU looks fine, no complaints on the APU. Moving on to the engines on this model look really nice. Their shape is really good, the exhaust looks good, and of course the fan blades look fantastic. Here's what the fan blades look like. Lots of printed detail on the engines too. You can't see most of it from the top, but on the bottom, that's where the show really is. Looks really solid overall. I have no complaints. The external features on this model include antennas and Wi-Fi domes. There are 3 antennas total, all of which are visible here, and a singular Wi-Fi dome. So there's a large antenna in the front, on the top, a large antenna on the bottom, also in the front, and a large antenna on the bottom, but in the rear of the aircraft. and then this Wi-Fi dome. All of these look good. I have seen a few complaints regarding the Wi-Fi dome. I don't remember exactly what they were, but it still looks fine to me. Here's the bottom of the aircraft, and here you can see the signature chrome plating here. I'm not sure what this is, but it caught me off guard when I first saw it. Down here there's a lot of printed detail and of course a very good amount of painted detail, so everything looks really good down here and I don't have any complaints. The landing gear on this model looks really solid and the wheels roll very smoothly. The nose gear here is very nicely detailed and it bends backwards as it should, so very nicely done on the nose gear. The main landing gears also look really nice, highly detailed, and the wheels do roll very smoothly. So no complaints on the landing gear. Very good job for NG on that. Here's the front of the aircraft, and here we can see all sorts of things. The wing flex on the main wings and the horizontal stabilizers looks really good. Gear balance looks really solid. Cockpit window printing is perfectly aligned. Engine clearance is good. Everything looks really good from up front. And that concludes the review. Now time for my personal opinion and recommendation. This model is simply fantastic. It has a lot of details. The defect with the horizontal stabilizers and the paint chipping, that did catch me off guard. I didn't originally notice it and I haven't ever seen that before, but it is very small and minuscule and extremely hard to find or notice even looking at it close. So I'll be willing to dismiss that. So therefore, I recommend this model to anyone who wants to get one. I'm not sure their availability as of July of 2022 when this video was made, but if you want to, get your hands on one as soon as possible, and honestly, it's very much worth the buy. It's really nice, and I really like it. So that concludes the review. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to drop those down below. Like, comment, and subscribe. Stay tuned for more airplane, siren, and rocket content, and I'll see you guys in my next video.